Millionaire CEO yells at young boy for touching her Ferrari. She freezes when he fixes it without tools. It was a scorching Saturday afternoon on the streets of downtown LA, the kind where even the concrete seemed to sweat. A bright red Ferrari Purosang purred at a red light near a popular cafe, drawing the attention of every passerby. Inside sat Madison Kane, the billionaire CEO of a global tech company, sharp, confident, and known for her no-nonsense demeanor. Clad in designer sunglasses and her signature black power suit, she checked her watch impatiently. Her next board meeting was in 30 minutes, and traffic wasn't helping. Near the crosswalk stood a boy, barefoot, wearing a dusty t-shirt and tattered jeans. Around 10 years old, he was clutching a small paper bag that looked like it had seen better days. His name was Eli. He wasn't begging. He wasn't crying. He was just observing. His wide brown eyes sparkled with curiosity, locked onto the Ferrari like it was something out of a comic book. As the light stayed red, Madison's car suddenly jerked forward with a soft but noticeable clunk. She frowned. The engine sputtered and stopped. She turned the key. Nothing. The screen flickered and went blank. "Great," she muttered. "Just what I need." She stepped out in her heels and slammed the door. A small crowd began to form, intrigued by the idea of a $1 million car breaking down. Madison pulled out her phone to call her assistant, but before she could, she noticed the little boy had moved closer, far too close for her comfort. "Hey," she barked. "Back away from the car." Eli froze. His hands hovered inches from the hood. "I wasn't gonna touch it. I think I know what's wrong." She narrowed her eyes. "Oh really? Do you have a degree in automotive engineering?" "No, ma'am," he replied softly. "But I watch a lot of videos. And I fix things for people on my block sometimes." Madison laughed, a sharp, cold sound. "Right. Because a kid with no shoes is going to fix a $250,000 Ferrari." The crowd snickered. Eli's face flushed. But he didn't run. Instead, he looked at the car with genuine concern. "Ma'am, I think your fuel line sensor is overheated. These models, they shut off automatically when the heat sensor spikes. It's to stop engine damage." Madison blinked. That was oddly specific. "You can't fix that without a diagnostic tool," she said, folding her arms. Eli didn't argue. He just walked slowly to the front of the car, careful not to touch it, and crouched down. "There's a quick reset trick. If you unplug the secondary relay and let it breathe, the system cools in under a minute. My uncle used to drive these kinds of cars. Before he passed." Something in his voice softened Madison's expression, just for a second. Before she could stop him, Eli reached under the front frame. No tools, no gloves. He moved with surprising confidence. A minute passed. 2. Then, he stepped back, wiped his hands on his shirt, and nodded. "Try it now," he said, eyes hopeful. Madison sighed dramatically and got in. She turned the key. The engine roared to life. The crowd gasped. She stared at the dashboard, then at Eli, then back at the dashboard. The warning lights were gone. Everything was back to normal. Madison stepped out slowly, her face unreadable. Eli took a cautious step back, preparing for another scolding. But it didn't come. "Who taught you that?" she asked quietly. "My uncle. He used to be a mechanic before he got sick. I helped him until he couldn't fix cars anymore." "Where are your parents?" Eli looked down. "My mom passed away last year. Dad left when I was a baby. I live with my aunt and her kids now. I try to help out, earn a little." There was no bitterness in his tone. Just facts. Raw and real. Madison looked around. The crowd had started to disperse, some still whispering. But she didn't care anymore. She studied Eli's face, not just the dirt or the old clothes, but the focus, the heart, the untapped brilliance. "How old are you?" 10. She took a breath and pulled off her sunglasses. "Eli, would you be interested in visiting my company next week? We have an innovation lab where we build new tech, drones, robots, even smart cars." His eyes widened. "Seriously?" "Seriously," she said. "I think someone like you doesn't belong on the street fixing broken fans and leaky bikes. You belong in a lab. Creating the future." Eli's lips trembled. "But I don't have money. Or fancy clothes." "You don't need money," she said, crouching to meet his eyes. "You've already got what most people don't, curiosity, courage, and kindness." For a moment, neither spoke. Then Madison pulled a card from her wallet and handed it to him. "My driver will take you home. Give this to your aunt. We'll call her tonight." As she stood, she turned to the bystanders still watching. "If any of you think you're better than someone just because of your bank account or your shoes, take a long look at this boy. He just did what a team of Ferrari engineers would have charged me $1,000 for." The crowd quieted. Eli blinked up at her, a soft tear slipping down his cheek. He quickly wiped it away and smiled, a smile that Madison would later say was the moment everything changed. A week later, Eli stood in the heart of Madison's tech campus, holding a prototype gadget that he'd helped tweak on his very first visit. The engineers were stunned at how naturally he understood the circuitry. By the end of the month, she had set up a full scholarship fund in his name and launched a summer mentorship program for underprivileged kids interested in STEM. But the most touching moment came at a company gala 2 months later, when Eli took the stage, dressed in a small, tailored suit Madison had custom-made for him. Nervous but beaming, he looked out at the crowd of elite professionals and cleared his throat. "I'm not here because I'm smart. I'm here because someone saw something in me when all I had was hope. So I want to do that for others too. Someday, I'll build things that help people. Not because I'm rich, but because I was helped." The audience rose to their feet, many in tears. Backstage, Madison watched, hand to her heart. In that moment, the woman who once measured success in numbers and acquisitions finally understood the deeper purpose of her wealth. It wasn't about power. It was about possibility. And that day on the sidewalk, when a little boy dared to touch her car and fix it without tools, was the real beginning of everything.